Hey there, Skullheads, I'm Snags.
And I'm Ol Silky.
And before we kick the show off, I just want to remind all you cats to hit snagsandsilky.com. Go to the Click Pit and check out our tunes, flicks, and reads links from all these episodes. Playlists, movies, books, whatever we're yammering about, you can find the links on the website. Got the merch store with t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and decals. And you got a book that we wrote under the pseudonym Cyrus Bunker about our wild years when we were little rugrats after high school running around doing crazy shit. So that's entertaining. You can buy that. And my cat's meowing. I got a cat and a dog here, so you may hear some background noises.
Now we know that.
Take it away, Silky.
All right, so tonight's episode, we're fortunate enough to have Patrick Kennison back from Union Underground, Lita Ford, and Heaven Below. But the main focus is Nikki Stringfield, formerly of Femme Fatale and Before the Morning. And she's done some solo stuff all the way back to 2017. But she has a new album that street dates September 29th called Apocrypha. And we wanted to talk with her. I've been playing this single, No Surrender, for I guess a week now.
Yeah.
Wanted to just kind of, how did this album come together? What, has this been something you've been kind of doing on and off with all these other bands you're in, or how's that come together?
Yeah. I mean, I've been playing with the Iron Maidens since 2012, and I've just always wanted to do original material. And when I was with my original band Before the Morning, I never really got to contribute. So I finally was like, you know what? I'm just going to sing. I'm going to do it all by myself. And I'm finally just going to go for it. And I'll put it out there and see, I'll just do it for me. And if people like it, cool. If they don't, whatever. And I released my first single as Chaos Consumes. And I think it was 2017 and people liked it. So I did an EP, Harmonies for the Haunted, in 2019, right before the pandemic hit. So we didn't really get to do much with that. And right after that, we're stuck at home during the pandemic. We couldn't go tour. We couldn't do much. So I really focused on this full-length album, Apocrypha, and we just worked real hard on it. And it was hard to finish it in a timely manner. I had hoped to have this out last year around this time,
right.
But just between our touring schedules, Patrick, produced the whole thing. He added guitars, bass, produced my vocals. So it took a long time to get everything done. It's 12 songs.
Because touring came back.
Yeah,
that's
the
what
touring
screwed us
came
up,
back,
right?
which was awesome.
Right.
But the drums were actually recorded, I think we said April or May of last year.
Oh, wow.
So it took that long to get guitars and vocals. I mean, it has been written. I have demos from last year. It just took that long to finally get it done. And I actually wanted to release it a little later this year to give us more time. But between our busy schedules, I really wanted to do, I've never played a live show with my original solo stuff. So September 28th was literally the only date that we could make work with our touring schedule.
Right.
So we just set that date and we're like, okay, this is it. All or nothing. We've got to make it work somehow. So we're making it work in all the madness.
So is all original songs?
All but one. There's one cover, and I wanted it to be different and unexpected. It's a song that I've always wanted to cover, A Seal's Kiss from a Rose, but more rockin'.
Oh, see, okay, yeah. I saw the title, but I didn't know if it was. That's why I asked that.
Yeah, we'll be playing that live, and I will say we just rehearsed it yesterday, and it sounds so good.
That's awesome.
We did a lot with the guitars in place of a lot of the vocal harmonies.
The harmonies were, it's 3-part harmonies. So we had to sit there like we're, barbershop quartet gone metal.
Nice. Well, No Surrender, when you listen to it, to me, there's a lot of layers. There's the production is top shelf because each time you hear it, you can maybe hear a little something, something else. I'm really looking forward to what the rest. Can you kind of base the rest of the album on how No Surrender, energy
I think
wise?
so. We really wanted the album to kick off, heavy with a bang, and I think you can expect. I mean, it's filled with a bunch of guitar harmonies. I mean, that one is probably one of the more guitar driven songs I think on the album. Patrick played one of the solos on it. He played the second solo on it. I would say most of it. I mean, it's all rock, metal with catchy choruses, lots of solos, catchy solos, and I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty good taste of what you'll get for the full album.
Did so from if we go back to your start in the Iron Maidens in 12, that I would love to see more from the Iron Maidens. I have tracked down everything I can, either digitally or actually having some of the EPs. What an amazing band to kind of chase after, and there's so many amazing songs. Actually caught you guys. You guys came, I guess, somewhere near Sarasota in Florida, probably 2018, in this tiny little bar, and
when it was.
We drove like an hour to catch you guys, or maybe a little bit further up. It was. I just remember, you get there, you're drinking, you see the show, then you're like, good God, this is a long drive back,
Yeah.
But it was I was blown away by how, because you go, well, somebody's covering Maiden. How good can they be? And I think you guys really nailed it. You and Courtney Cox, I believe, just the back and forth. You could tell you guys have played together for a long time.
Thank you.
Yeah,
we'll be back in Florida November.
Really?
I think we're quite a few dates in November in Florida.
I'll have to make a note of that.
Hell yeah.
That would be cool to catch you guys, because we're down in Fort Myers, and it's just nothing gets down here. It's frustrating. There's a place called the Ranch that gets good.
Playing there with Lita. I saw it on my Lita Ford schedule. It's coming up early next year.
Really? Oh, I'm gonna have to.
Just glanced at it today and saw that.
Oh, that's okay. I'll have to get out. It would just be so cool to meet you, and see you guys again. You just don't get the live shows down here, But
every time I'm in Atlanta,
Florida.
Every time he sees something cool in Atlanta, he'll text it to me with the subheading "fucking Florida."
Yeah.
We'll be playing Buford. I don't know how close that is. I think that's a suburb of Atlanta. I know that's on
a little bit.
Oh, you're in Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah. It's a little bit outside of Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be on that same run.
That's crazy. So your new tour. What's the band? Is it? Are these people that you've played with before, or kind of hired hands, or what?
Is that Patrick Kennison guy in the band? I'm not.
I can't shake him. He's in it, unfortunately.
I don't go away easily. Yeah, I don't go away too easily. I'm like COVID 25.
Oh no.
Yeah, so thankful for Patrick, since he already knows all the material. He played a lot of the guitar fills and everything, so he's doing all the backing vocals, all the rhythm guitars, some of the leads, and we actually have, for drums, we have Shad Wilhelm, who played on the album, who plays with us in Heaven Below, our original band, and we have Jesse Davidson playing
newcomer
bass.
Jesse Davidson.
His band, he plays in a band called Rider Waite.
Okay.
I'm actually going to see him in a couple weeks.
Nice.
So, just a 4-piece, keeping it simple. We're not using backing tracks.
No backing tracks. We have a killer intro that's like an Iron Maiden or Accept show, where you hear something over the PA and then we jump on the stage and jam. and it pumps us up. Never mind the audience. When we do it in rehearsal, we crank it up and we're like, oh, holy shit, we have to kick ass now.
Yeah,
this is like walking to a wrestling ring at this point.
Yeah, we're really trying to make it an amazing first show. We have a lot of people flying in for it across the country.
Oh, that's great. And your first show in LA, or where are you?
It's in Hermosa Beach, so outside
down the
of
street
LA.
from our house. We can walk there.
Right on. That's keep it close.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you guys. Your the haunted harmonies for the haunted EP, the bonus tracks, the song "Divine Intervention." That's like one of my favorites. And I love that you guys cover that again on the Live in the Living Room. And it's almost completely different. Where it's just the same song. But that was a good. And then your "Till Death Do Us Part" EP, you guys cover "Hallelujah," the Leonard Cohen song. But like Jeff Buckley owns that song like nobody can cap. And I love the like when I heard you guys do it, I'm like, all right, are they gonna try? And you go a different, like you guys go deeper.
Well, we did it for our wedding. That was our, we weren't even going to release it. We were just doing that for everybody that came to our wedding and for the, the bride walking up and everything. And everybody said, you have to release this. You can't just let this be for the wedding. So we threw an original at the front of it. And then that's how that happened.
Yeah, that's great. Nikki does a great Elvis cover on there.
Thank you. Thank you. That's actually the one.
I Can't Help Falling in Love, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That one, yeah. It's cool to see you can play like really, really heavy, 1,000 notes a minute, and then do some very emotional, deep kind of, betroth type, with that EP. That's very cool to share that with the fans and stuff. But so the other question I had was with touring and stuff. Do you see a difference with like your Europe fans versus the U.S. fans with your solo stuff, Nikki?
I will say I have a lot of international fans. It's because we tour. It's so awesome. I have a Patreon page. And I have several people in Australia, one in New Zealand, one in Switzerland, one in Sweden, in Germany. It's so awesome. I will say when I'm there playing with the Maidens, of course, the audiences in Europe are just, they're so passionate.
I always feel like Europe is more open to supporting metal versus here. I think in the States there's so many different genres all fighting for one tit, if you will,
and TikTok and all the rest of it.
You just
distractions.
It's frustrating.
It's because they don't watch the Kardashians in Europe. Europe doesn't watch the Kardashians.
Yeah, I mean, just there's so many good bands, and you want to see them. You really like this band Heaven Below, and nobody knows them. You're like, come on, guys. You just it's just too many bands. Like, I mean, I'm sure you guys know so many that are in different stages of almost making it, or maybe they break up next. It's got to be really frustrating.
Yeah.
You learn a lot. You always think it's about your material. You come to find as you get into your own catalog, the material is so important to yourself and your immediate fans, but it's so much beyond that, beyond how good the material is. The material has to be good or it never gets to go anywhere. But having good material alone is only a part of it. And I've known this for years, but we still see that all the time. Like, wow, that band has a great song. How come no one's heard of it?
Yeah.
Well, because there's not a system behind it where an A&R guy and a whole team of people at a record label push it out on TV.
Yeah. And management and the label. Yeah.
Yep. So there's I'm sure you've heard of the Black Lips, Atlanta band, right? You guys heard of the
Heard
Black
the name.
Lips? Yeah, okay. Well, they're like a kind of in garage rock band. They started out late '90s. They started kind of getting some fame, and the guy that signed them said, "Don't be like all the other Atlanta bands I've tried to sign. Get out there and fucking tour." And you can find a documentary on them if you search Black Lips documentary. It's fascinating. They have toured the world. They've toured the Middle East, probably Antarctica. They took that to heart, and they've got a huge cult following. I mean, Sean Lennon recorded one of their albums because he liked him so much. He's like, "Come up to my recording studio and do an album."
Oh, wow.
And it's that philosophy. You can have good music, but if you just chunk it up there on Spotify and sit in your garage and surf the internet,
exactly.
nothing's going to happen.
That's exactly right. It's a drop of water just putting it up on Spotify,
Mm-hmm.
a drop in the sea.
Yeah.
Well, how does like touring Heaven Below and your solo stuff, Nikki? How does that interfere with the Iron Maidens, or are they what?
Yeah, we got a David Lee Roth, Van Halen situation going here where they don't like
what do we do
solo stuff. And
I will say, we've got some shows, hopefully, some solo shows in December. Yeah, in December. It's so hard coordinating schedules between Patrick and I for anything. We have this huge calendar we live by just to see when we're both home and when we can do things.
Mm-hmm.
But with the Maidens, everybody kind of has their day jobs and everything. So
yeah, I wondered if they're just kind of,
I just look at, these people have these dates blacked out. I'm going to try to do something there so we can still play as many shows as possible, because that's the main, that's how I get to do my own stuff is
and truthfully it's a harder sell when a band is new to say, okay, we want to come play everywhere. I know you're not familiar with our great catalog of new music. It's
a totally different world.
It's a different world. It's Lita Ford and Iron Maidens are a kind of easy sell if you're a concert promoter.
Those are y'all's day jobs are Iron Maidens and Lita Ford. That's your day jobs, and then you do the other stuff.
That's
absolutely
not a bad day job.
Exactly.
We get paid to make music every step of the way.
And the busier you are, the more you're going to generate, and
they feed into each other. We see it online and in our Spotify numbers and everything.
That's fantastic.
So
I was looking at just, are you tight with Nita Strauss at all?
I haven't talked to her in a while, every once in a while on social media, but her and I were in the Maidens at the same time.
You were? Okay. Yeah. I thought so. And now she's with Alice Cooper, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm making sure that was the same Nita Strauss. Because I saw Alice Cooper a few years ago. She's amazing. That's very cool that you guys, almost like the Yardbirds or something, all these great people coming through and going on to other things, That's very cool. What was I going to ask you? What are your influences? What kind of, what are your first things leading up? I mean, are you still into any of it, or?
Oh yeah. Luckily my parents were into rock and metal. My dad was a guitar player, still is. So I grew up with, AC/DC, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, all the greats. I got into Nirvana when I was 12, 13 years old, just became obsessed with them. And then I finally got into guitar, and that's really what got me into playing. I just started teaching myself. And then I got into Avenged Sevenfold right when they released City of Evil around 2015 maybe?
No, City of Evil was like 2000.
2003. I'm always off a decade.
Early, yeah.
2000. And I was like, God, there's a new band out here, because I love all the old stuff, but I was craving new bands, new music, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a new band that's out here doing all these shred solos.
Solos came back on the radio station.
And they look like rock stars, and they act, you know, the videos are cool, and so that really inspired me to play lead. So Nirvana really inspired a lot of me wanting to write the catchy hooks and really focus on the songwriting, whereas Avenged really, you know, brought out more of the metal side. Pantera too. I'm from Dallas, so yeah. System of a Down.
Yeah, that's great stuff.
Really, she influenced me a lot vocally. But yeah, those are probably my main ones. Obviously, Iron Maiden. I was into that. I think the first riff I learned was 2 Minutes to Midnight. One of the first. So Crazy Train.
Yeah, Iron Maiden for me. You know, 1980. This kid's older brother had all these Eddie things on the wall and stuff, and they were still very new, but he had like picture discs of the, you know, Prowler, and you know, first time I heard Prowler, that was it for me. Such a riff.
I saw this crazy. I used to come home and watch this music video show in Atlanta. We didn't have MTV in Atlanta like the rest of the country because it's freaking Georgia, but there was this Uncle Howie's after school videos, right? So you'd come home and you'd watch that.
I remember that.
And this is like 82, 83, and this wild ass band's playing this song about the devil and this giant thing's running around on stage. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is, but I love it. And it was Number of the Beast. So,
nice.
Yeah. Crazy time. That was back when you were dead, Nikki. Way.
That was my first show. My first show was Iron Maiden, Tuesday, March 5th, 1985.
I saw the Peace and Line tour. It was amazing. Yeah.
I saw Nirvana in a small Atlanta club called Masquerade. Nevermind had come out. I worked at Tower Records in Atlanta, and so we had Bleach was like I had a white label CD. It didn't have anything on it. And then Nevermind had come out. So we went and saw this band, and we had a great time, but they were Nirvana, but they weren't Nirvana, you know?
Yeah.
And just within weeks of that show, they were like, it was the craziest thing you'd ever witnessed, you know, and we saw it just working at the record store. You had like hip hop people coming in, buying the cassette single of Smells Like Teen Spirit. Like they're like, I don't even know why I'm buying this. You know,
it's hard to describe how big they were. I was driving in the car, flipping radio stations, and there was this pop radio station playing this insane punk rock song. And I'm like, what is Power 99 doing playing punk rock? It was Smells Like Teen Spirit. And then they flipped over into an alternative format like shortly after that. I hated Nirvana because everybody else loved them. That's just my personality. I was this iconoclastic. All that's been done before, smashing drums.
Yeah.
I hated Nirvana.
Snags and I go all the way back to like 9th grade, high school, and our history is me telling him about the next amazing thing.
And me going,
and
yeah,
he goes,
yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
And
so, and then 10, 15 years later, he's like, dude, have you, you know, and you're like, dude, I
just texted him last week going, man, Columbo's a great TV show. He's like, I've been telling you about Columbo for 10 years. Anyways, so Nirvana's coming through the In Utero tour, playing the Omni at Atlanta, which was a big arena, the name of the big arena at the time. My girlfriend's managing the local college radio station. She calls me. She's like, you know, we got tickets to Nirvana. I know you don't like them, but you want to go? I was like, fuck no. I fucking hate Nirvana. I will kick. That's one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my life.
Yeah.
The last time he played in Atlanta, fucking stupid. Wow. Yeah. So, you know, at least you didn't do that. You may have been born too late. You're not going to live with that regret. So.
Have you met Dave Grohl at all?
No.
We tried to get his attention when he was
did.
barbecuing at NAMM.
Yeah.
At Dime Bash.
Dime Bash. Yeah, he was barbecuing, he ignored us. And I didn't want to go up and be that person that's like,
sure.
Can I bother you for a picture? You know, I don't want to do that.
Excuse me, good sir. Could you please pay attention to us peasants who are trying to emerge as artists?
Might you spare a crumb for an orphan?
They did a big show in Atlanta, Earth Day, and my buddy Mike Snowden was in a band with Michelle Malone at the time, and they had quite a following, but they're playing Earth Day, and Mike Watt was there, and I think Dave Grohl was playing with Mike Watt. And anyway, I'm backstage, and Mike Snowden's mother, his wife's mother is there, and she sees me and she knows me, and I didn't realize Dave Grohl comes in behind me, and she sees him, and she starts berating him that he needs to hydrate, that he's sweaty out there in the sun, and gives this whole spiel about hydration and how he needs to take care of himself, young man, and all this stuff. And he looks at me like, who the hell? And I'm like, just walk away. But so I didn't really meet him, but I had this hilarious eye thing where we were like, just let this, and he was very gracious. He was very gracious.
I saw him play drums with Queens of the Stone Age in a club. That was pretty awesome. He's fucking rocking out.
Atlanta.
Yeah. Fucking Florida.
So how's recording the new Heaven Below going? Is that?
It's going slow, but only because we've been on the road so much. We're about halfway through, close. We got about the halfway point. We're literally putting on our calendar, okay, these 3 days this month and this 4-day gap here, we're planning on it dropping the first quarter of next year.
Shoot. Okay.
But it's, it seems like something always comes up. But the second we don't have to set alarm clocks to do music stuff, which is great, we will be completing it. I wanted it done by the end of this year. I don't know if that might not be realistic.
Well,
close.
Things start slowing down a little bit. Like he leaves tomorrow, and he's back the Monday. My show's on a Thursday. He's back the Monday evening before my show, so we barely can even fit in one more rehearsal before the show. And it was literally just, when can we? It's like, when can we fit all this in? And especially when you're recording and you're in it, you want to have a good few days and not just like a couple of hours or a day. It's good to have like a chunk of time to do it.
But when you come back to it months, you back from a tour and you go back in, do you have to kind of do a big playback and get back into the?
I don't. I keep the roughs on my phone. Even the demos and stuff. And out on the road in the hotel room, I'll be like, wait a minute, this is a better guitar intro, or wait a minute, I have lyrics that can be better than that. So
you're honing constantly.
Come home and go, okay, I literally have the notes on my iPhone, a lyric section and then some lyrics I'm like, man, that one stays. I'm like, nope, that one changes, that one goes. And so the work's cut out once we get home.
Yeah. And so there's not a big hat change where you gotta,
No, only with maybe like when me and Shad, our drummer, get together, we'll be like, okay, I'll program the drums on my demos. And it doesn't sound bad with the programming, but man, when you get a person banging on drums like Dave Grohl in 1992, now the song doesn't sound like it was recorded on an iPad. It sounds like somebody sweated in a room. So we got half of the live drums recorded. I'm excited to get rid of my programmed drums for the rest of the songs and hear the rest of the live drums. It does change it up. And sometimes you'll say, wow, the drums are so kicking my ass. Maybe I need to make sure that opening guitar riff has more feedback, or whatever.
Yeah. And I mean, I always wonder, because I'm not in a band, but I think about when I hear something, just some random thing in the car, like maybe before you would go into the studio and you inadvertently, accidentally start playing Start Me Up, and you think, God, this is a kick-ass riff. And then, hopefully somebody in the band goes, okay, Mick, let's back that up. But I mean, do you, I guess you're constantly influenced by.
Absolutely. It doesn't even feel like recording to me. It feels like capturing, which we did on your album too. Today's day and age, everything seems to be pre-planned, Pro Tools, click track on a grid. We want to go the other way. It doesn't mean we want to sound like a garage recording. It just means we want a little bit of Van Halen 1 in there. Even though we sound nothing like that, I'm saying I just want Van Halen 1, just for a little bit of Appetite for Destruction.
Plug in, play, and capture the vibe, man. If you don't have the vibe, you don't really have anything, in my opinion.
No, there's too much music is premeditated, and I always tell the band, I said, mannequin titties are probably okay for some people, but we want natural, nice.
You want the
titties.
real, natural,
Yeah, and I know it's a silly comparison.
No hard spots.
Here's the tits, I said.
Yes. No mannequin titties on our recording.
Yeah. Even if they're pert little, at least they're real.
Hey, all right. If we were doing pop music, maybe our attitude would be different. Maybe it'd be okay that everything is all drum machine choppy, pre-programmed. But when it's rock music, it needs to be kind of ugly at times.
It needs to be dangerous. It needs to be a little uncomfortable.
Yes.
My attitude with the 90s, and I keep coming into this, people will rave about the 70s rock and roll, or some of those obscure 3-man band guys that came out of the 60s that maybe had one album. I'm thinking of like Warhorse or Iron Claw, really obsure 70s.
He's the biggest music nerd on the planet, so he'll drop these band names.
They're channeling kind of Vanilla Fudge or Cactus, just some of that
Focus
really heavy stuff. But where was I going? The 90s music to me was very pre-programmed. If you look at so many of the bands, there's just there's no organic growth there. It's just too plastic or something.
Once they have a hit with something, you get all these pale versions. We saw that from Nirvana. Bush was still good, but by the time you got to Marcy's Playground, you didn't care about Sex and Candy.
That is exactly it.
For every Guns N' Roses, there's a Faster Pussycat. For every Nirvana, there's a Creed. They sterilize it.
Yes, exactly. We try to steer away from that.
I mean, to be on the front lines working in the record store, and some of these bands would come in and you'd meet them and you're like, oh my God. I remember Blues Traveler came through, and the bass player, I've forgotten his name, but he got really upset that Blues Traveler was not in the blues section. And I said, well, you guys have to play
and Muddy Waters.
You guys have to play music, the blues music, to be in the blues section. And I tried to tell him, look, we've got you in the pop section because that's where everyone comes in, and they're gonna grab you. But it's where I got in a big kind of fight, and at the time I was just full metalhead dude, but I was the blues buyer, and they got really shitty with me because they weren't in the blues section.
We got blue in our name. We must be next to Howlin' Wolf. Come on, it's in our name.
So it shaped my opinion of that band, and everybody, Blues Trail, oh man, John Popper, I don't.
Y'all aren't friends with John with Blues?
No, he's off the Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I hope you guys are.
That's what I was saying. Just making sure.
No.
Well, I guess I've run out of my initial notes. It was just so cool to catch up with Patrick again and get to know Nikki's plans with this. I really am looking forward to this new album and everything.
Thank you. We filmed a real video. Nikki did an amazing job, especially being a front woman in front of the camera. We had some really killer video directors that have done a bunch of big bands that we all know and love. And I think we haven't even seen the final edit, but the video drops right around the time of the release.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the exact date, but it should. I'm hoping. We were told at least a few days or that same week of the album release.
Yeah.
Beforehand, so it'll be for the song "Where the Demons Lie."
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Was there any time during? Is there like a white whale you're chasing? Anything you didn't get? Anything couldn't quite come together, or you pretty satisfied with the whole with the new album?
Good question.
It took us a few times to get the mixes.
Yes, we took a long time getting the mixes right because, as we were saying earlier with the drums, everything sounds so programmed today. We're always like, is that real or is that a drummer? We're always asking that. And I wanted to really make sure that you could tell that's a guy playing drums. We sat in the room together while Shad was recording the drums, and we played along with him. We sat.
Oh, that's great.
And we
so
did
the mixing engineer had to feel he had to get the we like it. It sounds like you're 90%. Can you give us 5 more percent?
Yeah, we chased the mixes for a while.
3 different versions. He finally had the mixes that we liked.
Yeah. But, it was a labor of love, of course. Everything, things will happen to set you back. It took a while. I love how the artwork came out to Tristan Graytro. He from the UK, the guy who does my
famous guy that's done UK. A bunch of big albums too.
So we collaborate back and forth here, cool. Los Angeles in the UK. I don't know. I think I'm really stoked for it. We actually re-recorded my first single, As Chaos Consumes, because a lot of people liked that, and we re-recorded it and put it on this album too.
Oh, nice.
It sounds better. It's way the production, because that was the first thing I ever did. I didn't really know what the hell I was doing.
Oh yeah, and that's now you've got the opportunity maybe to bring something up and have it heard the way it was meant to be.
We were looking for organic quality with sonic fidelity. I guess I always go back to Van Halen 1. People playing, but it's real punchy.
Have you read that Ted Templeman biography?
It's on my list. I'm dying to get it.
He goes into the production of all those albums. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was interesting because we're huge Van Halen fans, and you really get a taste of how important a producer can be for to really reach in and pull out the best of you. David Lee Roth was not their first choice.
Yep.
And Templeman really made David Lee Roth who he is forever on those albums. But the book also goes into like the Doobie Brothers and some of these other bands that I personally am not huge into.
The Ike and Tina Turner story is hilarious, where he's an assistant engineer on this Ike and Tina album, and he's in the booth with Tina setting up a mic or something. She starts flirting with him, and Ike is behind the controls at the mixing board doing coke and holding a gun.
Oh boy.
he's getting really uncomfortable because Tina's really coming on to him, and Ike's looking jealous. He said he just had to get out of there.
Oh boy.
I gotta read that. There's some great stories in that book.
Yeah, it's a good book, especially being in the business. You'll consume that one quick.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Good stuff. But anyway, Snags, you got anything else you want to?
Well, I just want to know, like, the future. How do you see the solo thing panning out over the next few years? Is this something you're really going to kind of dive into, or are you just taking it one step at a time?
I would say, I guess, a little bit of both. I mean, I'm literally kind of pouring everything I have into this right now. The Maidens have one show on Friday this month, and it's the same venue that the album release show is at. So I have time to actually sit at home and really focus on getting this release. Just hired a great PR person, Raquel.
Nikki's experiencing something that's amazing. And I tell her this, after being on Sony Columbia and making 58 cents per CD, it blows me away that, and I'm not trying to make it all about finances, but it blows me away that Nikki sells vinyl in CDs and makes $10 off a CD and makes close to $10 off of vinyl and gets all the money. I tell Nikki, the fact that you're doing that and money goes into an account is better than a lot of record deals that have happened in the past. Because I know it's to make 58 cents.
Because you've seen it, you've seen it go
better
the
than
other way.
most record deals in the past. Yeah, fight the power.
I know.
Now they give you advances. Here's a six-figure check
pay back.
But you're going to pay it back, and the CD you only get 58 cents after distributor, Best Buy, and we take our part in Target or Walmart.
Yeah.
So I've been there, and we're going to split it.
Guys.
Yeah. So that blows me away that somebody can be indie, move a smaller amount of units, and make so much more off the product.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Because I know bands that are really good and they've got a CD and you're like, hey, you gonna do a vinyl? And they're like, dude, we can't get near a vinyl.
It blows my
very pricey.
Yeah, some people don't even have their music up for listening, for streaming, or some people don't even want to do a CD, which I know it's so limited. But with my experience, people, myself included, there's still a good chunk of people who are into physical media. I have a physical CD, the vinyl. It's just that's everything.
And people can't believe that they're buying it from the artist and it's signed by the artist to them. They're like, I saw her with the Maidens, or I saw him with Lita Ford. Now he just sent me my order and it showed up looking like a team of people did it.
Yeah.
We take a lot of pride in that. Honestly, we do.
I tell you, it's a very noble thing. I believe I reached out to Patrick. I was trying to chase down just an EP, some live thing. I was like, where is this live show? And he said, oh, I might have one of those CDs. I don't have the box or the artwork. And I was like, oh man, I'll buy it. And he's, no, I'll send it to you. And then he probably went on tour or something. So a good maybe 2-3 months. And I was like, I wanted to, you want to reach it, but I'm not that kind of guy. It's like, God, this dude won't stop.
Yeah.
But I just said, I guess you didn't face. Oh man, I'll send, what's your address?
Did you get it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I was like, holy shit, this guy from this band sent this to me. And then, the cool thing on their website, they'll have all these, they're getting stuff together, stickers and t-shirt, everything signed. It's all lined up like you're about to mail it all out and stuff. All kind of almost a DIY or it is,
It is. We're super blessed. We've been in the position several times with Heaven Below and now with Nikki. We hire people to help us mail stuff and we pay them. And I'm like, that's so weird.
Do you rent like a little warehouse to have everything there?
We have a little unit that we'll go over to and everything's all archived and we have a whole thing that's done. And and knock on wood, it's getting a little out of hand in a good way. And I always tell Nikki, I love first world problems. Too many orders, not enough hours in the day. We're getting to that. We are getting
really
to that.
Not enough
You
time.
gotta get a desk that you can sit behind and put your feet up on and smoke a cigar and tell people to work faster.
Yes.
Yeah, work faster. No, I'd love to see just the timing. You guys did the Heaven Below coffins and stuff, and those were so cool. And each time you've put them out, I've been like, I can't even.
Oh, the new ones are scary. We're gonna get in trouble from the state or something with our ideas.
Yeah. Oh, I'll keep.
Dangerous.
Kiss sold coffins for a while. There was the Kiss coffin. Get buried in your.
Well, no, this is like the size of a CD.
It's a wooden box that has a CD in it, and then us dead inside.
Well, you got it. You got to do the life-size coffins with that band name. I mean, Kiss did it. They lead the way in all the merch. So
exactly.
Yeah. Well, the one last thing, since we're still talking, do you have anything lined up where you would record anything with Lita, or is she just strictly
Lita's on that
live?
one? Lita is on the Heaven Below CD, Good Morning Apocalypse.
Yeah, I know.
Song on there.
But I mean, since you're her lead guitar player, is she, going into the studio anytime?
Yeah, I did the backing vocals on her new album, so that's collaboration. Okay. So that I don't have a release date for that. She's figuring out.
I thought you might have.
Yeah,
I saw something where she was about to go in, or something was, coming along.
Her and Gary Hoey produced the album. And Gary's an amazing guitar player. And so funny enough, Lita and Gary get me on conference call. We need you to sing all the backing vocals. And I'm like, what planet is this where no one's asking for my guitar stuff like they always do? They need me to sing a bunch of stuff. So I sing on her backing vocals on her new album.
Cool.
That's exciting. You've just done the live. So when did you join with her?
It'll be 10 years next year. So
wow.
2014. Wow. Time is flying.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You just did Sturgis with her?
I introduced Fred Durst and Lita Ford to each other, and I have the most amazing picture of them. And I want to put it online, but Lita told me to wait. And I said, Lita, I want to put it online so the caption can be "Kiss Me Nookie."
Uh-oh. Are they an item now?
No, we were backstage having fun like we do with. They just took an amazing picture. Fred jammed with us in our dressing room when we were warming up. He sat in there and jammed with us singing, and we filmed it. I'm dying to put it online, but I need to let Lita put it online.
Yeah. Would there ever be a chance that we could get Lita to do this?
I will absolutely connect you with the right people. I know that she hasn't been doing a lot of press, but she's planning on it for her new album. So it's all timing.
Well, it's funny. You got us hooked up with the Priest thing, and it's funny. We don't have a huge following, and we were back and forth talking to Chip, I think.
Yep.
And it was back and forth until he asked me how many followers we had, and I'm like, well, we've got 34, but we're trying to, and that was the last. I'm like, it's an honor to be turned down by Judas Priest.
Oh well, I will definitely hook you up with the Lita people. Judas Priest just hooked us up with the Power Trip Festival in Indio next month.
Or you going to that?
Because of the band Judas Priest.
Nice.
Because we reached out and we said, just give us, can we get friends and family tickets? We'll pay whatever. And then they hit us back and said, Patrick and Nikki, VIP, the entire festival. Thank you, Judas.
Oh,
sweet.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
The Priest is just.
That's my favorite band. And now I know them. Life is very weird.
I think I remember on the previous interview with you, Patrick, you and Silky were geeking out on Priest talk for a little bit. Silky's
I can go all day.
Judas Priest, yeah.
Well, that massive box set is just ridiculous.
Oh, I got my stuff signed by them. It looks ridiculous what I have. People see my collection and they're like, oh my God, you could do a Priest museum, because fans bring me stuff all the time. Do you have this?
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's great. I've got like the embossed Rockarola with the green vinyl, and
nice.
He's got every box set known to man that was ever released.
So I did for our podcast website. We're Nikki. I've got your Big Cartel link.
Awesome.
And we're the idea is people hear the show, go on our thing, and then they're able to go to your see your merch and stuff like that, and we'll probably just throw the Heaven Below stuff in there too.
Perfect.
Absolutely, yeah.
But that's awesome. I would love to go and see that Power Trip. That's going to be. What do you got there? AC/DC. Judas Priest.
First night is Guns N' Roses and Iron Maiden, no openers.
Dang.
Second night is Judas Priest and AC/DC, no openers. Last night is what? Tool and Metallica. She's never seen Metallica.
Wow.
Oh,
never seen Guns N' Roses, Metallica. Wait, there was more. Yeah, Guns or Tool.
Or Tool.
Yeah.
Well, now you're gonna have.
I saw.
Well, Tool's amazing.
I saw AC/DC with Axl singing, and I was totally expecting it to be like, back in black, yeah, just total. And he just rocked his best Bon Scott the whole evening.
I saw the video. I thought the same thing.
No
I was
bullshit.
not expecting well.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. It was amazing.
Yeah. And him sitting in a chair singing, AC/DC with his leg in a cast, that big throne, and I'm like, what has happened to? We're old. We're just, but what an amazing show that'll be. Do you think they'll release anything of that whole? What an amazing
they have to.
Group.
I should take $3,000 and just buy a bunch of the shirts and resell them online.
Hell yeah,
like the US Festival shirts.
Yes. Oh, that's another Halcyon grouping there.
Yeah.
Well, if I got nothing else, I'm kind of overwhelmed. It was so awesome to finally get you guys, and it was fun. Some they say the chase is better than the catch and all that. And it was fun, kind of hitting you every once in a while, checking in, and then finally getting you guys. I hope you've enjoyed, being on the show and
Hell
stuff.
yeah! Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
we appreciate
so
it.
much.
I look forward to hearing the new album on the end of September. That's just going to be awesome. I did put together a playlist that'll be included in the episode on our website. Each episode has a playlist. It's just all your stuff that's available, because No Surrender's not on Spotify.
Not yet.
Yeah, it was only for iTunes for like the
Apple
pre-order
streaming
thing. Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, it's such a good song. It's very catchy, which I think you want.
Yes.
For sure. Well, Snags, you
I'm
good
to go. Anytime in the future, you guys have anything you want to pimp, talk about, get a recording on that you can throw on social media, let us know. We'll have you back.
Thank you so much, guys.
What's the dog's name?
That's Rolo.
Rolo.
So for the listeners,
Rolo.
they're seeing dogs and cats crawling around. So we got Rolo the dog. What's the cat's name?
It's a zoo. It's a zoo.
This one's Lucy, the black cat here, and then Luna.
You have to have a black cat.
Oh yeah, she runs the place, and Luna is crazy. Luna the lunatic. She was up here.
She thinks she's feral.
And Rolo always has to get right up in the camera, like right up, like everything.
It's a show business family. I mean, come
on.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, he's in on it too. He's like, oh, okay, we're doing video.
I love it. You got the guitars in the background and stuff.
A little bit in here, yeah. We got too many to.
They're
to
everywhere.
Put up.
Oh my god, they're.
Do you ever do any lap steel?
I plan on getting there. That's a hard instrument. That's 10 strings that can move the tunings with your pedal, with your feet. I told her I plan on getting to that.
I would love to. I love the sound that or that old National.
That's a metal one. If you ever see somebody playing that and they sound good, know that they are a wizard.
Yeah, I've heard that's not an easy thing to play.
Well, when you bust out the country album, you guys got to do some George and Tammy duet stuff.
Only if I can be Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah, we'll gladly do that. I'll be as long as I can be Shania Twain.
All right.
There we go.
There you go. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, nice talking to you, cats. We'll get this out. We'll send an email when the episode's up. Stay on for a little post-show wrap-up. We'll say goodbye to the audience, and you guys check the website when this is up. There'll be some links, Patrick and Nikki links for you cats to check out. And we'll say goodbye to the audience and wrap it up with Patrick and Nikki. Till next time, keep it real.